Molo Sanbonani, hello, how's it? Good day, good day, good day. This is the Vuga Nazo Show. My name is Sihle Ngobese. Welcome to it. Remember, all you need to do is hit that like button, of course. And if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to the show. Help me grow my numbers and reach my goal of 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Guys, remember, we have a website. Find us, please, at BigDaddyLiberty.com. Now, with that jibber jabber out the way, let's get straight into the news. All right, as I promised last week on Vuga Nazo, remember that episode, I said I will be taking on the politicians directly. I'm joining you, dear parent, in the fight against the Basic Education Laws Amendment Bill, or the BELA Bill as it's commonly known. This is a piece of legislation the politicians are using to try and take almost complete control of education and to crowd out parents, to push parents aside in order to have politicians and government officials be the deciders of what education should look like. Now, we've seen what that kind of policy looks like over the last 30 years of ANC governance, where we spend a lot on education, but the outcomes are simply terrible. I'm arguing for a shift in direction, something fresh and new that rewards and places you, dear parent, at the center of your child's education by giving you school choice. That's the policy I am pushing. That is the policy I put to these politicians at the public hearings that were held by Parliament this past weekend. This is what I had to say. Thank you very much. Chairperson, hello. Members of Parliament, Sanbonani, hi, and fellow South Africans, hello. I am rejecting this bill. It's nonsense. I'll tell you why. Children do not belong to the state. Children do not belong to politicians. Children do not belong to union members. They belong to parents. Parents are the first line of call in who makes decisions.
No, let's not do that. Let's not do that. Let's not do that.
Parents, as I said, are the first line of port of call as to who should make decisions about their children, not you as the political elites, and definitely not any political party, whether it's the DA, ANC, really, I don't care. As I like to say, hashtag politicians are trash. And with that being said, let me say the following. What you really want in this country is not the BELA Bill, which effectively speaks about centralizing control. The HOD decides that, the MEC decides this, the state decides that. No, what you want is the absolute opposite of that. The parent decides this, the community decides that. The school belongs to the community, not to you, the politicians. I will end here. What you therefore want is not the BELA Act, or rather the BELA Bill, because you want to make it an act. What you really want is a policy of school choice. The idea that if you really stand for poor people, if you stand,
No.
I'm gonna continue.
No.
If you stand,
Address me. Order. Amaqabane asibambeni. High levels of morals and discipline are very important.
very important.
Patience to you as the speaker as well. Don't
Agree.
address the masses.
Agreed, Chair. Agreed.
Speak to me.
And let me have a chat with you then, Chair, because if you're serious about education being something that rewards and uplifts the poor and the working classes, I've heard a lot of people speak about here, then you should be one of the loudest voices advocating for a policy of school choice. The idea that the resources and power of the Department of Education are broken down by way of an education voucher and given to the parent, for the parent to decide what kind of education their child gets, whether that's homeschooling or public education or private education. This Department of Education spends on average between 16 and 22,000 Rand per child per year. The question is a child in Ngwavuma or a shack in Cape Town on a sand dune getting 22,000 Rands worth of education? They simply aren't. So what I'm advocating for is school choice, education vouchers where poor parents get to choose. Thank you.
Time is up. Oh no, order. Order!
Yes, that's right. Told them to their faces that enough with the bad policy, enough with this BELA Bill, which will just be another bad policy on top of what we've seen in this country, where the outcomes of our education do not match the spending. And why? Because that spending and the power are currently in the hands of politicians and government officials. It's time we take a different path where the power and the resources are placed in your hands as the parent. And this is what I mean by the school choice policy. What underpins the school choice policy is the idea that we give parents the freedom to choose the kind of education you want, the kind, caliber, and quality of education that you want, whether it is homeschooling or private options or even retaining your child in a public school. That's all fine and well, but we need to give parents the ability and the resources to choose themselves. This is where the education voucher, and I want this to trend, hashtag education vouchers is what we want. This is where the education voucher becomes very important. There are various estimates, but currently the Department of Education spends between 16,000 Rand a year to other estimates pointing out to 22,000 Rand a year. And I asked the simple question, are we seeing children, whether they are in rural Ngwavuma in KZN or a child who lives in a shack on a sand dune in Cape Town, is that child seeing 22,000 Rands worth of education? Is their education giving them as a general feature the best opportunity to compete globally? The answer is no. And this is where the education voucher comes in. We give the parent the freedom to choose the kind, caliber, and quality of education that they want by giving them a voucher. They can't spend it anywhere else other than on education. A voucher of that between 16 or 22,000 Rand for the parent to be free to choose the quality of the education. Now, this is just the beginning of it. This is an idea that I want to take to communities across this country. Let us have a groundswell of parents who say no to the unions, no to the politicians, and no to this BELA Bill. And beyond that, they demand school choice as the policy for this country and education vouchers, especially for poor parents, so that parents have the power and the resources. Now, here's the thing. I need your help. If you believe that I should take this message out into communities, then support my work. I'm going to be taking this and many other ideas into communities across the country. How do you support my work? A simple financial contribution of anything between 50 to 100 Rand a month. 75 Rand is the sweet spot. You can find a payment method that suits you at our website at bigdaddyliberty.com. Guys, this is our moment. Support the work and help us fight for good ideas.